What's up, guys? It's Robo. Thanks for joining me down in the cage. I have a very fun video today, something I'm super excited about. We are going to talk and take a look at the Texas Strength Systems combo rack. Let's talk about why I chose this combo rack in particular. There are a lot of companies making their own version. Hansu, Rogue, Eleiko, Ghost, you name it, they probably have a version of a combo rack or one that's coming out as it's kind of increasing in popularity to have in home gyms and also just powerlifting gyms around the country. So let's talk about why I chose this one in particular. First and foremost, it is made in the USA. That's not like a deal breaker for me, but I do think when you have the option, it is cool just to have something like this that is manufactured in the USA. It's 7-gauge steel, it's super high quality. I was a big fan of all the customization options that the TSS rack gave you when purchasing it. There are kind of add-on costs with that. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I was a big fan that I was able to choose the color, customize some of the uprights to have some laser engraving, which I'll show you as we talk through this video. And also put a decal down here that just says the cage. And also, really the main reason why I got a combo rack in my basement is because I wanted something that is like I compete on, and a lot of USAPL meets and all of pretty much of the high level USAPL meets are using a TSS combo rack. So if you wanted to get something that feels like you compete on, why not just get the rack that you are likely going to compete with? So it was kind of a no-brainer for me when looking at all of the options. And I'm really happy that I ended up going with this rack. I think the details are super well done, kind of all throughout. Like I said, it is 7-gauge steel. The uprights here are laser engraved. The insides have the TSS logo, and then the outsides you're able to upgrade and put your own logo on the upright for $100. The actual clip here has laser engraving numbers on all of the side, the hook upright. The back side has laser engraving and also the sides, which makes it really nice when trying to select the right height. You kind of have options at where you want to look. And also, these uprights here are lined with foam, so when you're actually putting the safety pin in, it makes it super easy just to find that other side. It's honestly effortless. Talking about the uprights, they also converge so that when you're squatting, you can have a more narrow stance. Or not stance rather, but you can grip the bar wider and kind of get your arms on the outside of the uprights. So to do that, you kind of just lift this little red thing. I don't even know what you would call it, but you lift this red thing and then they just shift in super easily and then shift back out and slide the red thing back in place to kind of get it back into position. But yeah, those are the uprights and the customization options for those. So things like that, those really small details are really well done on this rack. I feel like the powder coat is really well done. We're gonna kind of see how it lasts over time. Obviously this thing is gonna get used and abused a little bit, so it's gonna stretch as weight knocked into it, the bars knock into it, things like that. But out of the box, it was like really sharp looking. The metal thumb screws they have to kind of take the face savers in and out and to take the bench in and out is actually an upgrade. That's one of the differences from the previous model that this company made, as well as actually the laser engraving on the uprights. Previously, they just put a Texas Strength System sticker kind of down the upright, and I'm not actually sure timeline-wise when they made those changes. Texas Strength System definitely leaves a lot to be desired with their advertising and kind of their website design. So I'm not even sure that they announced that they were kind of upgrading some of the features on the combo rack, but that is one of them, the metal screws, which is kind of just nice. Actually, out of the box, one of mine didn't come, so when I called the company just to get one sent to me, and they sent it super fast. But talking to the guy, I asked what happened to the plastic thumb screws, and he was actually saying that people were dropping weights and breaking them and calling for replacements frequently, so they wanted to kind of upgrade to the metal, which kind of makes sense, but it is a little bit of a funny niche kind of story. But again, it is nice to see that they got kind of complaints, I don't know if that's a complaint, but calls to replace something frequently, so they went ahead and made that change. Also, the pad material is upgraded. This pad material is super similar to my Rogue Monster utility bench material, which is the fat pad, pretty much that Rogue Matrix, which is kind of widely considered the best vinyl on a bench pad that they can make. It's on their Man Ray bench as well, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the one that the Man Ray uses. Anyways, it's almost identical. I really don't feel difference. I'll show a picture on the screen now, and visually they look exactly the same, and when you're actually setting up on the bench, it does feel the same. The Texas Strength System bench has a little bit less cushion compared to the Rogue bench. You can kind of feel like the wood and plywood underneath the bench when you're benching on it, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just kind of a difference. But yeah, what do you call it? The safety pins still have those like nice finger grooves that are similar to the old one. There's not much different about, again, I'm saying old version, but they didn't, it's not like there was a version 1 or a version 2. But Mastonomics made a video that kind of went through a Texas Strength System combo rack, and also other ones that I've lifted on previously are a little bit different than this, so kind of just picking up on that. The spotter platform is pretty much the same. It's a really nice spotter platform. When I have people over here, we do use it when we lift, and everyone seems to really enjoy it. I don't have any issues with it personally. All of the details, like I said, are really well done. On the face savers here, you're going to adjust it kind of the same way that you would adjust these hooks here, just without the lever. You're just going to pop it up, pull the safety pin out, and slide it up and down. It is super smooth. The numbers here on the face saver are laser engraved. It is metal on metal, which is a little bit annoying. We're going to get into that a little bit. You kind of see that I have UHMW put onto the combo rack here. This is not how it comes stock. I had to get these custom made. I sent measurements to Greg over at Aperture Engineering. I would really highly recommend him if you kind of need UHMW plastic on anything. He did an awesome job. His customer service is a 10 out of 10. But anyway, I sent him measurements of all of this. He got everything 3D printed, sent it over to me, and what I did is put the 3M low surface energy double-sided tape on the back side of this plastic here, put it onto the metal, and then clamped it for like 48 hours. And it's been holding up really well. I was kind of skeptical to see how the tape would hold up, but so far it really has not had an issue, and I've done pretty much everything on it. You can see the UHMW is getting scratched up from wear, and it hasn't moved an inch. You would think that it kind of comes like factory like this. It's a shame that it doesn't. Like, that's something that I really think that TSS needs to kind of step up. Compared to all of the other companies, it's kind of outdated at this point to not have UHMW plastic on your hooks and on your face savers, especially when you're trying to like market yourself to home gyms. We spend a lot on barbells. We care about the equipment. We care about plastic maybe more than your commercial setting. But with that said, I'm not sure that Texas Strength System really cares to market themselves to home gyms, really cares about that stuff. They have their own facilities that they're outfitting with these things, and they kind of have like constant business through USAPL, like their relationship with USAPL. But I do think that is like a missed opportunity. There are people out there that will not get this rack just because it doesn't have UHMW. So there is kind of this untapped market, but that is kind of for them to figure out, not for me. But that is something to consider. If you're in the market for a combo rack, it was it annoying doing this? Honestly, not really. What was annoying was like waiting for everything to come, because excuse me, you had to do everything in pieces. The rack had to come, and then I had to measure it exactly, send it over to Greg. He had to send everything back to me for approval, which was quick. He was super quick about it, but again, I'm just impatient. And then once it comes, you know, you got to put the adhesives on, wait 48 hours. Like, I want to just take this thing out of the box, have plastic on it, set it up, and boom, like start lifting. So when I first got this rack, there was a time where I was only using like my beater bar, quote unquote, just because I didn't want to ding up all of my other barbells. There are some other things that I did. just talking through the Discord, Basement Brandon's Discord. They gave me some ideas. Shout out to them. Go to his website if you want to join. It's cool. Anyways, I put UHMW tape all over the inner parts of this cup here, and then put like a strip of Velcro on the two sides here, just so that when you're kind of pressing the bar against the front of the hook here to unrack and rack when you're benching. And then also if you just like kind of clip it on your way in, racking, you're just not going to damage the barbell. Again, just something that I did. You definitely don't need to do it. But I think it works really well and is definitely something that was easier than I kind of thought. But again, when going through that process and picking a combo rack, ultimately it wasn't something that was strong enough to deter me, but I think it is strong enough to deter other people. I just knew that like it was going to be a little bit of a project for me, and I was at the end of the day pretty pleasantly surprised with how easy everything ended up being, which is kind of a nice segue though. Let's talk about the price of this thing. Because it is like the base model of this, base model means without any customization and without face savers, is like $2,500 before shipping. So this thing's expensive. Like put UHMW plastic on it. All right, I'm not gonna harp on it. That's my last time saying it, but you get the point. To add face savers, it's like $500. To add customization on the uprights, it's like $100. And then to put the sticker here on the back of the rack is like maybe like 30, 40 bucks, I forget exactly. You can also put your logo underneath the bench, like the metal sheet that comes down from the bench for like $300, but honestly, I didn't want to do that. I feel like it's a little bit of overkill for a home gym, but it is cool. I just didn't personally want to do it. And also this bench is heavy to take in and out. It's not like overly heavy. It's pretty easy to do, but I didn't want to make it any heavier, especially because it doesn't come with wheels, which is kind of another knock on this combo rack. Again, for the price, there are other companies out there that are putting wheels on it, and I do think that's like a nice premium feature to have. So it would be nice if this has wheels. Again, it's not a luxury. Like you can take this out without any issue, but it's just like a nice feature to have. The bench secures in really, really nicely though. And I'm not sure if the wheels would impact that at all, but if so, I don't think it's worth the trade-off. The bench itself is obviously like comp spec. It's a combo rack. It's 48 inches long, 12 inches wide, and like 17 inches high off the ground. So it's comp spec, everything that you would look for. But yeah, anyways, price. This thing could go from $2,500 all the way up to like $4,000 if you get all of the customization options, when you include like the tax and the shipping when it's all said and done. So it's definitely expensive, and that's kind of just the nature of getting a combo rack. That kind of is the market, anywhere from like $2,500 to $4,000 plus. So it is right in there, and I do think that the customization kind of does make it like an attractive option. I think the only other company that is offering like off the website customization is the Ghost HD one on the Rogue site. Speaking of like Massonomics before, they have a really cool one in the Massonomics gym, which is the Rogue brand. So I think like if you want to get customization off the site, those are the only two options that I know of. Comment down below if there are other sites that I'm kind of just missing out on. And that's it. Before we wrap this up, I want to quickly talk about like how you actually do use a combo rack and the point of the lever. If you are kind of unfamiliar and just watching this video because you're a huge fan of me, and I appreciate that if that's the case. But anyway, the lever is just to change heights, so people of different heights can use the same rack at the same time. So if me and my cousin were benching and my cousin's 6'5", it'd be really easy just to raise it. You just lift it with the lever, put the safety pin that's in the back in the new hole and slide it down, and then take the one that's set out before. It's really nice in this rack. In the back here they have like a little storage slot for the pin. This combo rack came with 6 pins because I got the face savers, so the face savers came with 2. If you don't get the face savers, it's going to just come with the 4 pins for the rack. And the powder coat does wear in the back here where it is metal on metal. That's like the biggest con about this thing is all of the metal on metal. But again, it was kind of like a pretty easy fix for me. But I would kind of say that's like the only thing about this rack that I would change. Other than that, this thing is pretty solid, and I wouldn't really do anything different, which is a good thing. I would change kind of like how they advertise and how they market it. I don't necessarily love when companies do all of like the add-on features and that piles on money. Like, to me, you're gonna get it. You're not gonna get a combo rack without the face savers unless you already have face savers. In my opinion, maybe you are. If you are, and that's fine. Like, I'm not judging you, and I don't think that's bad, but I don't think that's kind of the norm. It's just, I get the customization is gonna add cost, but something like face savers should just be sell your product for what it costs. If you want to add face savers for $500, that's fine, but just sell the rack for $3,000. Make that the starting price. Like, that's what I would do. That's something that just kind of bothers me when companies do that, but everything is really, really well done on this thing. Besides that, the ability to change heights is awesome. It's 1-inch holes. I mean, you could find the perfect height. There's 26 different heights, so you could get as tall as you can be and use this rack. You could be as short as you want and use this rack. It's pretty much not going to be a problem. It is made to kind of fit everyone within normal limits, I would say. But yeah, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you're considering getting a combo rack for your gym or your home gym, I would definitely think about getting the Texas Strength Systems one. It is definitely a reputable company with this type of stuff. I didn't mention the rollers. The rollers are really well done. They're nylon rollers. And they have like replacements on the website, but no issues with that. It's kind of just like the standard combo rack roller. Anyway, thank you so much. This has been Robo down in the cage. I'll see you next time. Peace.